From Corolla One Studios in Glendale, California, this is the Adam Carolla Show. With Gina Grad on news, Bryan on sound effects, and a live Q&A courtesy of Stereo. And now, with the lifting of the region's stay-at-home orders, his anger index has gone from purple to red. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but to get it on. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for sharing with a friend. We love that about you. Right, Gina Grad?
That's right.
Handball, Bryan. All men are beautiful. So true. Imagine how hard a great-looking male model would be laughed out of the room if he tried to float that fucking cloud of bullshit that women do all the time.
Square jaw, cleft
I've been
chin.
thinking about this, and I'm so glad you did that, Bryan. I have a thought about why that happens. Because nobody, and I probably, especially women, nobody wants to see a bitchy, beautiful woman. So she has to say all women are beautiful and, oh, who me? Because nobody resents somebody like a gorgeous woman who knows it and who doesn't apologize for it.
It does feel like the recent history of celebrity has reveled in taking down, the beautiful woman who acted like the bitch or the diva, you know what I mean?
But if a guy was like, oh yeah, I'm the sexiest man, well, line up ladies, we'd go, oh, what a charmer. But if a woman did that, she'd be destroyed.
But the line would still be as long to get to
the
her.
dudes would be in it.
Wouldn't dissuade us.
Yeah, because we can do an extra bit of tuning out with the hotties. You guys don't realize we will ratchet that up. Yeah, well, now thinking about, I like to kind of see where we're at as a nation. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but if you think about it, I always look at the commercials, and I always tell you guys that, when I was growing up, if there was a vehicle that was supposed to go off-road, they always talked about twin I-beam suspension and galvanized steel and the most payload and the best powertrain warranty. And now it's the Subaru's made with love, and it's a lot of puppies in love. So, but speaking about being beautiful, there used to be a commercial, and I can't remember if it's for Pantene or it was probably for a shampoo where the chick would go, "Don't hate me because I'm beautiful." Because I'm beautiful. So, could you imagine?
Wasn't that someone famous?
Yeah.
Maybe
Kelly LeBrock or something?
Yeah, it may have been someone who was famous before they were famous for whatever they're famous for. But either way, Madison Avenue thought it'd be a good idea, Pantene, to advertise in their national campaign a super hot chick telling you not to hate them because they were beautiful.
Yep.
That's a bygone era.
That's exactly right. And I think it was Kelly LeBrock.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
It stuck in my mind for some reason.
Sweet.
Max Apatis found the commercial from the 80s, the Pantene commercial. Pantene. This is the greatest hoax ever portrayed on American women, which is we will take exactly the same ingredients as Suave or any other shampoo that's $9 cheaper a bottle, but we'll put a little essence in it. We'll get a little smell. And the thing about the smell for the shampoo, like, let's face it, any shampoo or dishwashing detergent or the shit used to clean your van on the soapy sponge mitten, it would all get your hair clean.
Right.
But when you're engulfed in that smell with the steam, the hot shower coming down and doing
hair and jicama.
Yes, and of course the women are like, no, this is much better. It's much better because you're engulfed in its essence.
It's essence.
You're in a steam bath.
Right.
But Adam, you know how you've talked about you've never went to an Applebee's? Wasn't it Applebee's? Or no, Outback.
Outback.
Because it used to be too tall in order, and now you're like, that's low end.
Right.
Pantene. Like, really, this kind of grocery store shampoo, that's me. It was too expensive. Couldn't ask mom for it. We had to stick with the green Suave because it was $1. And now I would never use this shit.
Remember when all the was it the horse shampoo came out?
Yes, mane and tail.
Mane and tail. That was hot for 10 minutes. How does that stuff work? Shit you use to clean a horse.
If it's good enough for your beast of burden.
Yes, I know. And then why not expand it? This is the brush they use on horses.
This is the crop.
Yeah. This is the crop they use on a horse. Yeah. Like,
Did it
what
have
else?
anything to do with, now I don't think they're related as a product, but I'm saying, remember how Udder Bomb, like bag bomb was a thing? Like, oh, this is the stuff, this is the antiseptic stuff they use on, cow
Cows.
udders. And so maybe there's a whole like, fucking barnyard animal trend.
Well,
I was in Kansas. What's your excuse?
every 11-year-old girl loves horses.
Yes.
So I think at some point somebody went, this could have gone on the horse you never got. You know, I mean, you always wanted this horse.
Wow.
Now you be the
That's
horse,
the internal
bitch.
brief right there,
That's
Adam.
right. That's right. Women love horses.
You're good.
I was thinking, we have the commercial. Well, we'll play the commercial. Why not?
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. My hair used to be a joke. Dry, split ends. Then I discovered Pantene. Pantene has this pro-vitamin formula that actually strengthens your hair from inside. It's incredible. Even with everything I put my hair through, it looks so healthy, strong, shiny. Listen, it won't happen overnight, but it will happen.
Pantene. Serious care for beautiful hair.
You'll see.
She looks like a hot Pomeranian
Yes. Yes.
with that hairstyle.
Yeah, I do love when women talk about what they ask of their hair. Blow drying. I drive a convertible on occasion. I went outside without one of those smart bonnets that tape my hair. The babushka over my head. I ask a lot of my hair.
Yeah.
I think you women probably ask a lot of your hair, and we ask a lot of our deodorant, but no one really is asking that much.
That's right.
You know, I would now the chick on the trapeze who's spinning around and the guy's holding her by her hair or something like that. That's a woman who asks a lot from her hair.
Right. It's a matter of life and death.
Yeah, I don't think being on the set of Weird Science is asking a lot of your hair.
Wasn't she with Seagal?
Seagal, they have a kid together. I was going to say, Gina, I had a thought just now for the first time in my life. What's Kelly LeBrock up to? And according to Wikipedia, she lives on a ranch in the San Ynez Valley. That's very nice.
Ooh.
And at least according to the picture of circa 2014, that's an attractive older woman right there. She has aged well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to put her off on, my scale of when I could bang somebody who was hot when I was 19. She's been bumped back a little because she's been keeping after herself. Sad, but I guess that's a decision.
That's the way it has to be.
It's her choice. I can't make it for her. I was thinking of Bald Bryan this morning because I had to get up. This is not the part I was thinking about you for, but I had to get up at about 6:15, and I had to come into the studio and do like a Fox Business or MSNBC Business or some hit, whatever. Right. So I got up early, and rules are rules. I had to get in the swimming pool while it was dark outside before I got dressed and came over here. And
it is freezing, for our standards.
It's freezing, but it's all just it's that same theory, which is cutting your finger off on a bandsaw or kicking the metal bed frame when you're barefoot and it's cold in the room. It's just pain. So it gets to one point, and that's about it. So I was philosophical about it. I got in the pool. It was dark. It was freezing, but got out. I was awake. Started driving in, and I had the news radio on, and they were talking about this story of the California unemployment, the EDD, being bilked out of...
Oh, no.
Being...
No, they didn't put gate on there, did they?
$31 billion. 31 billion. I mean, maybe I'm old, but billion, I don't remember billion being tossed around like it is now,
Casually.
This is just California. I mean, if you would have heard that nationwide, the unemployment with the COVID checks or whatever was bilked out of 31 billion, that's astonishing. This is just California. Right. 31 billion they got duped out of.
And a lot of them in prison.
Yeah, and in other countries as well.
Good.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah.
Not just out of California, out of North America.
And I'll tell you when the thoughts turn to Bryan, but Dawson has the article.
California's 2020 unemployment fraud claims may top $31 billion. California state officials have said that at least $11.4 billion in unemployment benefits have been mistakenly paid out to fraudulent cases since March 2020, with some estimates ranging as high as $31 billion. Roughly 10% of all unemployment claims paid out in California during the coronavirus pandemic, which forced statewide shutdowns and unemployment increases, have involved fraud.
Isn't California where Silicon Valley is? Like, don't we have
Indeed.
computers and whatnot?
Yes.
Encryption.
The best ones in the world.
Yeah.
31 billion. All right, sorry, go ahead, Dawson.
An additional 17% of the total unemployment claims are under investigation, reported the LA Times. There is no sugarcoating the reality, California Labor and Workforce Development Agency Secretary Julie Su said during a Monday press conference. Quote, California has not had sufficient security measures in place to prevent this level of fraud, and criminals took advantage of the situation.
Yeah. Well, couple things. It's always funny when the people that are responsible for the problem explain to you how bad the problem is because they didn't see the problem coming down the road.
See what happened was.
Yeah, right. Yeah, is there any more, Dawson? Sorry.
California has paid $114 billion in 19 million unemployment claims since the onslaught of the pandemic. It should be no surprise that the EDD was overwhelmed, just like the rest of the nation's unemployment agencies, Sue said. As millions
try to spread it out to Texas and Florida.
As millions of Californians applied for help, international and national criminal rings were at work behind the scenes, working relentlessly to steal unemployment benefits using sophisticated methods of identity theft. All they did was fill out a paper.
Shit from prison.
All they did was fill out a paper and mail it in. That's not very sophisticated.
No. I like that they have to be sort of Dr. X and his international all-star team of diabolical geniuses from Cell Block C, still working to get his high school diploma. That guy?
A lot of Now You See Me 3.
Yeah.
Then, shockingly, she in part blamed the Trump administration for not assisting states with pandemic relief services.
So they could steal more?
I mean, they're incompetent, right? It's always weird because, like, do you want help from the feds or don't you want help from the feds? California is weird because if the feds offer something, they go, we don't want your help. But then when they fuck up, they go, where the fuck were you? $31 billion. Well, you know what we could have got for $31 billion? We could have got another 11 foot of train track from Modesto.
Churchilla.
Exploratory.
Yes.
We would have explored possibly.
So I was thinking about Bryan as I was driving in. I was thinking about that $31 billion, and I was picturing him cutting his $13,000 check to the IRS.
You gotta make that up, man.
And if as if that wasn't bad enough, as that thought was going through my head, as I was smiling to myself while I was driving in, picturing Bryan write the $13,000 check and the $31 billion squandered, at that very moment, it started raining. And I was, turned the windshield wipers on, and then I looked to my right.
Those are my tears.
Those are Bryan's tears. I looked to the right, and I saw the sprinklers fire up on the side of the freeway.
Of course.
And I thought,
of course,
that's where that $13,000 is going. Could we, but you think about it, it's funny. It's $31 billion and it's $13,000. It's got the same two numbers involved, but you just think about how hard that money is to come by for you and what a sacrifice it is and what a sort of something, the 13 could have gone to the college fund or could have gone to your next 2 vacations, or maybe you were thinking about converting the garage into a studio or something. Like what that 13 means to you and what the 31 billion means to them. You know what I mean?
Completely
and how is that system ever really going to work? You know what I mean? Are they going to go, hey, and hey, Bryan and other people of California, we need you to step it up. We need you to start paying your fair share. Well, come on now. We got bills here.
They're drenched in water from the freeway, the freeway sprinklers.
Yeah, we've got to start trying to right that ship. It is bound to happen. It can go no other way. but we can't just keep asking for more money from the people that live in a state and then squandering it in insane ways. Again, yes.
Gina, let me say real quick, only because it's to Adam's point. It's funny you mentioned that, Adam. Like, it's completely psychological, but that money was important to us. Again, psychologically, we'll be fine. Ultimately, it sucks and it hurts, but it got us. This year we made a goal and we got it of getting over a certain number, a big number for us in our savings, like our liquid in the bank savings, and we got over that number and we were happy. We toasted a glass of wine to it, and then it was felt really great. And this knocks us back to before that. It just hurts psychologically. It's like, oh, we were so good about saving this year, and now it's all gone.
That's funny because when I decided that it was time to pay off the University of Kansas in a big old way, I got above my number in the savings account. I said, see, if you could do it once, you could do it again. And I wrote a multi-$1,000 check. And so far, I haven't
still climbing the ladder.
I'm still climbing that mountain. But I just needed to take a snapshot of it, say, you did it once, you could do it again. And I think I wrote a check for, not to be in one upper, but I think it was $35,000 or $38,000.
Holy moly.
Yeah. I just never wanted to see it again.
I think I also inadvertently came up with a way to prevent Mike August from shifting automatic automobiles when we rent them on the road, his super annoying constant.
No, you're solving the world's problem.
Shifting, his constant grabbing of the automatic stick shift and going from high to low to first to third, like just super annoyingly shifting all the time. Todd, why does he do this? Number one, why? And then number two, can't figure out if it's more annoying to drive with him when he does that or to eat with him when he pre-cuts everything on his plate, including spaghetti, gets the knife and the fork and starts feverishly cutting everything up.
That offends me.
That offends me, too.
You got a steak sitting there bleeding out.
Right, just cuts the shit out of everything. But I think I've found a solution to this problem that plagues America. I realize Mike August is not a coffee drinker. He does not drink coffee. And that right hand, in my world, is occupied with a mug or a travel mug or a Starbucks thing. That right hand, if you're driving to the airport at 5:30 in the morning, you got that Starbucks in that right hand. That's where the hand. You got the left hand on the wheel, and you got that thing. You got it on the right hand.
Busying itself.
We have to get him onto coffee. Mm-hmm. If we could get him onto coffee, he'd have the right hand occupied and would have a hellish time shifting the car that never needs to be shifted because it's an automatic.
Can you imagine an alert Mike August? With it and on top
caffeinated,
paying attention.
Have you ever seen Mike, Chris, you ever seen Mike August drink coffee or yawn?
I've never, no, neither one. You're totally right.
But I think if we could start, I don't know how we should do it. Like maybe, when we have to meet in the lobby at 6 a.m. and return the car at the airport and make the flight at 8:15 and all that rigmarole.
Yeah.
And there's that thing where it's like you found out the lobby of the hotel has a Starbucks and you go get me and you a coffee.
Yeah.
Now, don't get Mike a coffee. Get him like a hot cocoa with like a marshmallow floating on top of it.
He would like that, actually.
Or some sort of smoothie type frappa something, some sort of orange flavored something.
Yeah, if there's a Smoothie King in the lobby, it would be a different story.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be a Smoothie King in the lobby, although it's, what was it, $5 Fridays is his big deal?
He drove over a divider to get to a Smoothie King.
He bases a lot of the live gigs and clubs we play based on proximities of Smoothie Kings. He's online. He won't say it, but he's trying to figure out if Zanies has a Smoothie King. I think he has an app within 9 miles of the,
All right,
of the club.
We got an offer from the Ha Ha Hole. There's a Robux nearby. I don't know. Or Robex or whatever it's called. I don't know about those.
So if you would then grab him some sort of zesty, frappuccino-y, fruity, smoothie-esque thing from the Starbucks in the lobby, then we just hand it to him on the way to the airport, and there's no way he could ignore that thing all the way to the airport. He'd have to hit off that thing. But he couldn't drive. He couldn't do all this shifting and a shafting with his right hand occupied.
That's the solution.
That's the coffee starter drink, is the ice blended or the frappuccino or the whatever
with the dome top.
Yeah.
This is his Bob Dole pen. You just need that hand busy.
Yes, we need the hand occupied. That's right. And then we don't even really need even graduate to coffee. We can just keep with the frappa smoothie over there from Starbucks, and that would stop us from shifting and shafting. Because the problem now is I am trying to drink a coffee in the passenger seat. He just dropped it into second at 80 miles an hour, and the fucking coffee's flying onto the dashboard. Chris's head is snapping around back there.
God forbid to go take a sip, and he shifts.
Yes. Yes.
Gina knows she threw up when August was driving.
I did.
Oh, yeah. Was that?
I did. That was Napa.
Reno?
We were leaving Napa and going to like Sacramento or something. And it was so windy. It was beautiful, but it was so windy. I grabbed Bryan. And do you remember that? I was just clawing at your arm. And I was like, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw up. And I'm not going to say who, but there were a couple people behind me that were also asking me to say something. So, because if the girl says it, I guess it's not as bad. But we did pull over and I did throw up because of the way August was driving. And we've gotten pulled over when August was driving.
I spilled my beer on you because of August.
That's right. Oh my God. Was that the same? It went like a wall of water into me.
Lots of beer.
Take my shirt off and get a merch shirt and change into it while I was still sitting in that seat.
I mean, apple juice. I spilled my apple juice on you.
Whatever it was all over my back and my hair and everything because August stopped short.
Mike is aggressive, and it's probably only me with my race car training that can tolerate it sufficiently, because I don't have any problem with him driving like an insane person.
Well, I think you helped by saying the one thing that nobody else would say when I was getting really sick. You're like, August, stop driving like an asshole.
Yeah, you told him to calm down.
Well, again, maybe the greatest Mike. Top 10 Mike story ever is when we were in, I don't know where the fuck we were in, but he was driving like a maniac again on the freeways, but not to get anywhere. We had plenty of time and whatever. We were going to eat before the show. And that's where he was in the fast lane and he was flipping the high beams at the guy and the guy wouldn't get out of the way. And then Mike did the go around him and then tuck in tight in front of him and cut him off and then gun it into the distance. And I just kept saying, Mike, slow down. They have cops. There's cops everywhere. What are you doing? You're on the main highway in Nashville or where the fuck we were. And he was driving like an insane person. And but again, the whole plan, the thing that always makes this story very Mike-esque is not just the driving, it's the comprehension part. The show's at 8, the show's always at 8. It's a theater, one show, show's at 8. And we're going to get into town at 7 so we could eat dinner before the show. And it was like 6:45. And Mike, as he's getting pulled over, and we're lit up and we're being pulled over. And the guy who we cut off in the fast lane's watching this whole thing go down. Just, that's the best day of that guy's life. And as the cops getting out of the car, I just say to Mike, you got Adam Carolla in the car? Show's at 7. We're running late. And he just looks at me and he goes, show's at 8.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Okay, but... Right.
Gina,
follow the script.
I know we're eating, Mike, but don't tell the cop we're eating. Tell him we're going to a show. Then Mike started arguing. Then the cop said, like, you know why I pulled you over? And Mike's like, I don't know. Why don't you tell me? Like, Mike was a dick to the cop.
So this was a different time than Gina was alluding to when we were in the car, right?
It was Chicago.
I was going to say it was either Royal Oak, Michigan, or Chicago.
Maybe
Midwest somewhere.
Yeah.
No, it was Midwest. And I remember that's the only time I've ever seen Mike August worried. Like, he was legit worried. He was like talking to himself, like as he was being pulled over, saying like, I was going over 100. That's an instant. Yeah, it's an instant impound of the vehicle. Like, he was legit freaked out.
Did he talk back to the cop?
No. Oh, no. There was
got
a lot of yes sir, no sir. The cop wrote him a ticket for 95. You know what I mean? Like, he could have impounded the vehicle.
He was very persnippety with this cop. All right, let me hit Simply Safe, and then we'll do some news. Everyone wants to keep their home and family safe from break-ins, fire, flood, or medical emergencies. Simply Safe Home Security award-winning 24/7 protection. Not only an arsenal of cameras and sensors, you get the best professional monitors in the business. They've got your back day and night, ready to send police, fire, or EMTs. We've been with these guys for seems like over a decade now. We all use Simply Safe because it's so easy to set up. You don't have to pull wires, drill holes. Batteries last up to 10 years. Peel and stick. Set up in about 30 minutes. Then Simply Safe's professionals take over, monitoring your home 24/7, ready to send help the moment there's an alarm. No long-term contract, hidden fees, or installation costs. And right now, our listeners get a free home security camera with the purchase of a Simply Safe system. It's Simply Safe, 2 eyes, simplysafe.com/M. And you can get a 60-day risk-free trial and the camera at simplysafe.com/M. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back and do the news with Gina and Bald right after this.
Give me the news with Grad. News with Gina. Grad. Breaking, viral, weird crime, protest, politics. Give me news with Gina. Grad. Stuff they saw on TMZ. Joe Biden. Kamala. Meet news with Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
Just because we didn't get to it yesterday, and I've never heard so many free commercials essentially for MyPillow before in my life. Mike Lindell, the CEO of MyPillow, has been banned from Twitter as of Monday night. That's according to a Twitter spokesperson. CNN reports that Twitter made its decision based on a new policy it enacted after the Capitol insurrection, where people who repeatedly shared election information can be permanently banned. Bed Bath & Beyond stopped selling MyPillow products after Lindell voiced continued support for Trump in the wake of the January 6th event. Lindell, who's a major Republican donor, called the attack very peaceful and blamed undercover Antifa that dressed as Trump people for the chaos, according to New York Times. And Twitter and Bed Bath & Beyond are having none of it, apparently.
There's a bunch of retail outlets that have canceled him out in terms of his pillow, not just Bed Bath & Beyond.
That's the generic version.
Yeah, they've done it. I know a lot of people applaud this. I am going to slippery slope with this. This gets a little, we're deciding what we like, what we don't like, or what we deem dangerous or irresponsible, and then we start acting in the cancellation process. I don't think it's a move toward the light myself.
Well, it does seem like shifting the responsibility over to somebody else because, you know, when we all vote with our dollars, and if I said, well, I'm not down with that guy's cause, I don't care if his pillow is good or bad, I'm not buying it, then I've just taken on that responsibility. But if I say, and nobody else can buy it, and Bed Bath & Beyond, who do you think you are? Like, I'm perfectly capable of saying I'm not buying it.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's the world we want to live in. Dawson's shaking his head.
When I heard of this story, it struck me as kind of funny that the MyPillow commercials on Fox probably have higher ratings than regular programming on CNN right now.
Go, Dawson.
It's entirely possible.
Sick burn.
Yeah, I mean, look, the guy's a Trump supporter. He's a religious guy. He's already was on everyone's kind of shit list. I mean, he was on.
He's a little incendiary.
Yeah,
but he was on the shit list before this. Like he's deeply religious, and he's a Fox guy, and he's a Trump guy. So he was already kind of dangling there a little bit, and I think this put him over the edge. He was on the radar. I would hear stories about what they wanted to do to that guy or what they wanted to deplatform him before the whole incident. So, look, we cannot deplatform or remove the voice or remove the product of people we disagree with. It will come around and get you. It's like all the people, so many people who were get this guy fired or get them canceled or get them deplatformed. Many of them have become fired or deplatformed or whatever themselves. It'll come around to you. It's not a good it's a little bit of the opposite of what we do here in this country, and a little more like a lot of the countries you don't fucking like.
Here's the real slippery slope. What happens when they try to do this to Adam Carolla?
Oh.
What happens to all of us?
Ooh. Well,
who will speak for us then?
Yeah. You can get a job at Her Pillow, because there's probably some lesbian couple out of Vermont who's going to fill this void.
Wait a second. I don't know about you schmucks, but I'm going to start my OnlyFans site or whatever it's called My Pillows.
My Pillows.
You guys are SOL. I'm going to be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. My Prodigious Sack just doesn't have the same ring
no.
to
no
it.
one's going to throw money at that.
Redirect to your site.
Yeah, the scariest part about this whole thing is there's a lot of people in journalism that are cheering this stuff on. Like, they're floating ideas about Fox shouldn't be allowed to exist, or Fox should be taken off, or whatever. And there's a lot of journalists that are like, yeah, that's a good idea. These are journalists. If you're a fucking journalist, you should be pro free speech. You shouldn't be championing getting people canceled if, in fact, you're a journalist. That's the scary part. The scary part isn't the fact that, of course, people on the right are going to want what they want, and people on the left are going to want what they want. But journalists, who are supposed to be somewhere in the middle, should not be cheering on everyone being canceled, and not only cheering it on, suggesting that a lot of these news outlets or people they disagree with, or, Tucker Carlson, he needs to, there should be no Fox News. Really? As a journalist, that's what you think?
Did someone? I've not heard that.
Max Zapata can look it up. There's lots of calls to get rid of. It's been around for a while, but to get rid of Fox News and get rid of journalists. Get rid of Tucker Carlson and guys like that, even by politicians and journalists. It's fucking weird.
You mentioned the people who call for cancel have now become canceled themselves. In some cases, it's sort of all in consuming. It's the blurring of the line between journalist and host, journalist and entertainer, journalist and opinion, whatever you want to call it, because of the cable news outlets. Fox et al., CNN, MSNBC. It's all of them who have blurred this line between what is a journalist and what is an opinion host, or what is an entertainer, or whatever you want to call them. And now people are being lumped in like, oh, journalist is saying this. Like, are they really a journalist, or are they, are they a columnist for some extreme outlet on either side? Or
And in that point, which I think is totally valid, they need each other. I've been watching a lot of Christopher Nolan, but this is like Batman and the Joker. I mean, they need to exist with each other because they feed off each other. Their ratings feed off each other. They feed off attacking each other. Why would they
show clips from the other news networks all the time? Look what they said on so-and-so.
Yes. So ease up, everybody, on the deplatform everyone for the sake of it. Anyway, but also because you could be next. Max Pat will find one or two of those articles, maybe even the New York Times. I'm trying to think, or maybe they're calling for it. They want to get rid of Fox or Tucker or whoever. And listen, everybody, why don't you be secure enough to realize that there are people who have different opinions than you and like to share it with other people that you may not enjoy having lunch with? Is that okay?
Quick question for you while Chris looks that up. I've heard some people who are very, very, very conservative start to ditch Fox News because they think they kind of softened or weakened or were a little too maybe attacky to Trump at the end, and are like, fuck them. They're acting like traitors. Have you heard anything like that?
Well, Fox News called Arizona for Biden very early, before anyone else called it for Biden, which I think put a bad taste in a lot of their viewers, because they're like, come on, we're Trump guys. But also, they called it, I think, before CNN or MSNBC. They called it first, and I think that was probably the beginning. But look, there's going to be a version of Joe Biden is not hardcore left enough for AOC.
For most, yeah.
Right. But his policies are pretty good and left. He's coming across as a centrist, but he's got pretty aggressive policies, but they're not going to be hardcore enough for the AOCs. Is it AOC or is that is that the computer?
That's AOC.
It's not going to be hard enough for the squad, and then they're not going to be Fox News is not going to be hardcore enough for some of the hardcore right.
It's not hardcore enough for either side.
That's the way it's going to work. All right.
Well, so Tyler Perry on Thursday, BET has a docu-special starring Tyler Perry to dispel the myths around the COVID vaccine. So he created this program called COVID-19 Vaccine and the Black Community to combat skeptics and conspiracies. He recruited Georgia doctors to help explain how the vaccine provides immunity against the coronavirus. On Monday, he got the second dose of the Pfizer vaccine with the cameras rolling. And
wait a second.
The second dose.
Yeah, he's morbidly obese.
That's a good question. It was a little tit for tat with the special, maybe.
This falls under the heading for me of systemic racism, white supremacy, killer bees coming in from Texas to California. We talked about this. Like they went 3 months ago. Like, do the African American community trust this? And and what about the Tuskegee experiment from 1931? And blah 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 blah. And I said, there's always going to be a group that doesn't want to do it, white, black, right, left, whatever. But we're now in kind of full effect with this vaccine. I mean, nationwide, it's getting out there. We're trying to do 1 million people a day. We're trying to do 100 million people in 100 days and so on and so forth. Have you heard widespread stories about black people saying no, or I'm not going to take the vaccine?
Chris can look this up. I saw not a study, a poll or whatever that showed that it was more distrust in the black community. I don't know. I remember being more than other communities, and considering the talking points are that the black community is more hard hit than a lot of other or minority communities, you can see that being a deadly recipe.
But more distrust than the Asian community or whatever.
I guess.
But are we hearing stories about large swaths of black folk who are refusing to take the vaccine? I don't think so.
I have not heard that, no.
No, the only thing, what you said about Tuskegee or Henrietta Lacks or whatever, if you're an elderly person, you get it before most of us. So say you're 75 or say you're 80. So say you're a black 80-year-old man. There might be something, left over where you're like, no, I've seen this story before. But anyone under that age, it's not really a part of your memory. You know what I mean? Like my ex-boyfriend from 1 million years ago, his father never went to the hospital, who is black, because he said, I've seen what happens to, black men in hospitals. They go in, they don't come out. And that was his philosophy.
What?
How's a white kid have a black dad?
Well, he was half. His dad was black.
Ooh. Oh boy.
No.
Problematic.
It's good.
What?
It was good.
No. You can't do that. You can't commingle with the races before you know. We'll all just be one shade of gray.
Sometimes.
Well, that's where we're heading. Have you ever see those magazine covers? What the average American is going to look like in 2075?
No.
Listen, Isaac, you of all people, with the bald head and the chains hanging around you, you don't want to. You want a whole bunch of beige people in your Love Unlimited orchestra? Or is that Barry White? God damn it! All right, well, let's just
thinking about it.
Listen, Isaac, you like Gina Grad?
What?
I am asking if. Well, look, I don't want to put you on the spot, but she's an attractive woman, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you like...
Not resounding.
You like the white ladies?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Gina's not uptight. I mean, she doesn't mind dating a black man.
Don't mind.
That's good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't mind. May prefer it.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
I agree. All right, Max Feather. Have you Googled me right yet? Or...
Yeah, I mean, there's on CNN, Oliver Darcy, who's with CNN Business, did write an op-ed where he says it's time TV carriers face questions for lending their platforms to dishonest companies that profit off disinformation and conspiracy theories.
Well, there's a few out there, but anyway, Not a road we should be going down, people. Everyone's going to have to just do a better job of vetting information versus canceling information pre-vetting process.
Yeah, and then Tucker did a piece where he said CNN staffers have already contacted the 6 major cable carriers in this country that carry the Fox signal into their homes and pressure them to drop Fox News.
It's also a little weird when you're the competition. It's a weird conceit. Like,
Yeah.
you should be trying to figure out a way to beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, not demand that he be benched because he's a racist.
Not go full Nancy Kerrigan.
Right.
You want him to compete.
All right. What else we got, Gina Grad?
Well, remember for a while there was kind of a bunch of stuff in the zeitgeist about Pamela Anderson and Julian Assange.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like what we were kind of confused about it then. We tried, it didn't really seem to go anywhere. Well, whatever it is, it must be over now because Pamela Anderson has married her bodyguard, Dan Hayhurst, according to people.com. The Baywatch actress tied the knot on Christmas Eve in a little ceremony in her home in Canada. On Tuesday, Anderson shared what she said would be her final social media post on Instagram. I have that for you here. It seems like Julian's influence may still be there somewhere, but she says, "This will be my last post on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. I've never been interested in social media, and now that I'm settled into my life, I'm genuinely inspired by reading and being in nature. I am free. Thanks for the blessings to all of you. Let's hope you find the strength and inspiration to follow your purpose and try not to be seduced by wasted time. That's what they want and can use to make money and control your brain."
Yeah. Says the woman who spends 3 hours on makeup and hair every morning. Don't waste time. The likelihood that you're going to marry your bodyguard after the age of 40 goes up significantly, right?
Exponentially, yeah.
Because you are kind of on the other side of the hill. Hollywood's not calling. All the hot rock star drummers aren't calling anymore.
Moved on.
You're now with the 27-year-old dude who's constantly working out, and he's got to be in your proximity all the time.
And he's hired to protect you.
That's right.
And I imagine if you think about women will always start gabbing to their hairdresser, right?
Sure.
And it's not that hairdressers know anything. They probably know less than most human beings. I would argue that per capita, they're some of the least informed human beings on the planet, the hairdresser. So why all the gabbing? Why are you bearing your soul to the hairdresser? Why? It's all proximity. You're in the seat for an hour and a half. They got the foil tidbits on your hair. They're putting the highlights in. You're there for 2 hours. You got to talk to somebody. How about the dumb person that's punch drunk on Aquanet who's standing behind you? That's it. So you got to figure she's got to be sharing everything in her world. There's no way. There's no way she could go out on a bad date. The guy could be a prick and a douchebag, and then she could come home later that night or the next morning and not have that guy standing outside while she's pouring herself coffee in her bathrobe explaining to him, here's what happened, right?
Yep.
Right.
Who's she coming home to?
That's right. So that's a good gig. That's a good gig.
I'm trying to look up how old he is. It's very hard to tell by the picture, but I thought it said here. I can't. Her kids are 23 and 22. Where's this dude?
I would like to start a personal security bodyguard company, and I would just call it Fat Guy with a Gun. Look, this guy's not into Taekwondo. This guy, he's not spending all his money at the gym. He ain't into, probiotics. He's just a fat guy with a gun. But we pass the savings along. You know what I mean? You want some ex-NFL linebacker, that guy's going to cost you. You know what I mean?
Merriman's going to cost you.
That guy ain't cheap. This is fat guy with a gun. He's living in his mom's house. He's watching a lot of Fox. He is a fat guy with a gun. And by the way, who do you think's going to win in a fight? Fat guy with a gun or Dolph Lundgren over here?
He was an offensive lineman at Sacramento State. I mean, he played Division II ball for a couple of years.
Yeah, he was a run stopper. Now he stops bad guys with his gun. He doesn't even have to get off the sofa. He's got a
He
gun.
prefers not to.
He would prefer not to.
Yes, that's right. Fat guy with a gun, personal protection services. All right. Sorry.
I guess this guy's in his 40s. I just wanted to know if he was like, a young piece of arm candy, but many wishes to the happy couple.
Yes.
But not always does it end in a fairy tale marriage. Elliot Page and Emma Portner have split after 3 years of marriage. The Umbrella Academy star, formerly known as Ellen Page, filed for divorce in a Manhattan court. According to TMZ, they split over. The split comes over 3 years after the two announced their surprise marriage. That was in 2018. Page first began hinting at this relationship with Portner, who's 26, by posting pictures of her on social media during 2017. She's a teacher at the Broadway Dance Center, and they are officially calling it quits.
Well, I think when your partner switches genders midstream, or I don't know what I feel like that's going to put a strain on the marriage.
Well, yeah, if you're a lesbian, doesn't that redefine who you are and who you're with? If your partner becomes a man?
If you're relabeling yourself, sure.
It can't be good.
I think so.
Like, if I'll bet you 86% of relationships fail 9 months after one partner announces they're going full vegan. Right?
No.
Like, it's just a strain.
Yeah.
It's just a
strain.
dramatic
lifestyle change.
Right. So you kind of swapping genders, that's got to put a pretty good strain on the relationship, right?
I'm not eating meat and
right.
Although they say that they remain really good friends, and I will tell you that having a bevy of lesbian friends, I have never seen anything like it in my life. They have, really, passionate and committed relationships. And then what happens when a cisgendered straight couple breaks up? Are we best friends? Fuck no. These women stay very, very close friends. And it is something I cannot relate to. And Elliot Page said of her now former spouse that we're still best friends. And I've never seen it in another community. I don't know how that works.
So Alan Page?
Elliot.
She should have gone with Alan Page. He was a great defensive lineman for the Minnesota Vikings all those years. Oh, yeah, he's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer. First ballot. So she should have gone with Alan. Okay, number one. Number two, I feel like I was listening to Miley Cyrus sort of explaining that she was lesbian, but maybe not lesbian, but just sort of into whatever. It basically, it's kind of interesting as the diet has shrunk, as we've gone vegan or vegetarian or raw foods, the sexual partner potential, that's turned into a fucking golden corral. I mean, it's all on the table. I mean, imagine. The
buffet is shrunk, and yet the palette of sexual partners is...
Well, when you announce you're bisexual, you don't just add 10% of the populace onto your potential sexual partner list. You've now doubled it immediately.
Yeah, that's pretty much everyone.
Yeah. I also feel announcing you're bisexual keeps your current partner on their toes, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you're just thinking about, hey, honey, you pack on too many pounds or you get a little whatever, then I could just go across the street and pick up another. When you're going, everybody in this world is potentially a sexual partner for me. Yeah. That's an option. That's right. Now here's your Peloton. Get busy. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned the Hall of Fame.
Well, wait a second. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Portia and Ellen are like famous lesbian couple, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do we have other famous lesbian couples? And why not get Miley and Elliot? Oh, Jesus, I'm so confused. But can we get some other, A-listers together? Like,
who the only other one that comes to mind right off the top is, Sarah Paulson.
Mm-hmm.
She's with Holland Taylor, who, Kaylin or Chris, if you could put up a picture, if that name sounds familiar.
Does it?
She's the mom from or the grandmother, depending on, which one you're looking at, and 2.5 Men. And you don't see many May, December lesbian relationships that I can remember.
Yeah. Certainly don't seek them out on the internet. That's for damn sure. But I want to say, if we got to Google these two people, this isn't what I'm thinking about.
You guys aren't plugged into the community.
Well, you think about A-Rod and J-Lo,
right.
we're looking at him. Yeah. It happens quite often that the celebrity dude hooks up with the celebrity chick. I mean, that's the way you do it. You're both, Brad Pitt's going to go from Jennifer Aniston to Angelina Jolie. Like, hey, we're beautiful. We're celebrities. We want to hump each other. Should be more of that in the gay and lesbian community. Shouldn't there be?
For some reason, before you said Angelina Jolie, that's who I was thinking of, but not a famous lesbian relationship, right?
Just I think of the one famous lesbian, like the Melissa Etheridge or the Cynthia Nixon. I don't know who their partners are.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. We got to get
Rosie.
We got to get Cynthia Nixon with Melissa Etheridge. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. We need to do that.
Well, you mentioned the Hall of Fame and thought this story might catch both of your eye. The Baseball Hall of Fame's class of 2021 is empty.
Yeah.
None of the 25 former players on the ballot received the required 75% vote from the media members. Former Red Sox, Diamondbacks, and Phillies star Curt Schilling came the closest. He drew 71.1% support. The Hall's hometown, Cooperstown, New York. There will be a ceremony this summer and players to honor. Since last year's inductions were canceled due to the pandemic, plans are on board to salute those who were voted in a year ago. So Derek Jeter, Larry Walker, Ted Simmons, and the late Marvin Miller. And this isn't the first time that there hasn't been new inductees. Do you know what other year this has happened? I don't know if this is on your radar or not.
No, I've never. I kind of follow football more than baseball. I've never even thought about the possibility, but it strikes me that with a lot of the steroid scandals, this is going to happen, right? Because I think
Bonds was on the list, obviously, of the 25 and didn't make it.
And so were quite a few people who were sort of embroiled in the scandal. I think Mark McGuire may have been on there. I saw it up on the screen.
He's been denied for a few years.
So you're going to. The more steroid guys you have, the more denial you're going to have, and then kind of the smaller pool you're going to have to choose from, whereas they don't really have that in the NFL, like maybe everyone's juicing.
Right. Well, the last time this happened was 2013, and but they're still having their ceremony because we happen to have been in a pandemic when they were voted in last time. Let's move over to prison news. Lori Loughlin's husband has to stay behind bars a little while longer. Massimo Giannulli's request for an early release from federal prison has been denied, with the judge saying there's no extraordinary or compelling reason to do it. He was convicted for his role in the college admissions scandal. He argued that he should do the remainder of his 5-month sentence at home because all this time in solitary confinement has been punishment enough.
I gotta picture him watching the news. He gets caught in a scandal trying to get his daughter into USC. Meanwhile, you turn on the news and they're like, they're letting all the rapists and murderers out because of the COVID situation. I gotta let these guys out of the joint. And he's just rotting away because he cut a check to some guy with a rowing machine who did a Photoshop of his daughter. Right. Jesus Christ.
He's in solitary.
He's in solitary.
What the
probably
fuck?
I would imagine to protect him. Who knows? I don't know.
Do we really need that? I mean, it's you want to talk about a victimless crime, for the love of Christ. There's this thing where it's like, well, we got to send a message to whom? Who really needs to get this message? Do you really think how many people are lined up to involve themselves in this grift?
None now.
Yeah, and I always thought USC, sorry, Bryan, it was a little bit that way anyway. I mean, first off, the notion that you routinely take blue chip athletes from all over the country who have no GED and no test scores and immediately bring them into your program. I mean, aren't we already there?
Yeah, that's just how it works.
That's how it works.
There were plenty of kids you'd look around when I was there. You just like, well, that kid, obviously his dad, or parents, gave a bunch of money to the school, so and so.
Yeah,
it was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Well, and that's when, wasn't it? Dr. Dre was kind of poking fun at them, saying like, my daughter got in on her own merit, and we didn't have to do that. But isn't there a wing named after him?
There's the building, yes. There's a school. I think it's a whole school.
Right, with Jimmy Iovine, right?
Yeah, he bought something or did something.
There's other ways. And just on 2 real quick notes regarding a couple other scandals. Weinstein, his company, the Weinstein Company, is liquidating because they have a lot of people to pay. The U.S. bankruptcy judge has approved a Weinstein Company liquidation plan that allocates $17 million for the assault victims of Harvey Weinstein.
And I'm picturing them when you go full liquidation, like you have to sell the desks and the chairs and the furniture. Like, how much are those sofas going to go for? Like, I feel like people are going to steer clear of Harvey's sofa.
The ficus. You can keep that.
Well, that's a conversation piece. Come on, Gina.
Sorry, I wasn't thinking clearly.
When people come into your home, you put the ficus right in the entry hall. And then when you welcome people in your home, you go, guess whose ficus that used to be? And they go,
don't look too close.
I don't know. Well, go ahead and guess. Jim Neighbors? Get the fuck out of here. Go ahead. Guess again.
Guess away.
I don't know. Go ahead, guess. I'll give you 10,000 guesses.
Martha Stewart. She likes plants.
Why would I have Martha Stewart's ficus? Come on, the food's getting cold. Keep them coming.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah,
somebody
right.
scandalous.
That fucking racist. He's an anti-Semite.
Sorry.
Why would I have his ficus?
He would never lower himself.
My wife's Jewish. You think Connie would appreciate Mel Gibson's ficus? What kind of maniac would?
Maybe a Jewish guy. Woody Allen? Am I getting warmer? Colder?
It's embarrassing. All right, I'm going to go in and eat. You stay here.
All right, I'm going to make a list.
Yeah, search your soul, write some shit down. I'll come back after the appetizer.
Okay.
And see.
So speaking of this type of thing, another man's business has taken a real hit. That would be Prince Andrew's business. His venture is at risk of completely collapsing beneath the weight of the scandal over the British royal family member's connection to Jeffrey Epstein. So all that's left is a single accountant to run the operation. After Prince Andrew left his BBC interview that now everyone's seen about Epstein, all reference to the Duke was scrubbed from his business's online homepage. This is called Pitch at Palace Global. For a time, there was a plan to bring the operation back to life in the spring under another name called Pitch Connect. But the chances of that happening are basically slim to none. And they went from a couple dozen staffers to one person.
What was his weird, incapable of producing sweat argument in that interview? Yeah, he was like,
that was awesome.
I couldn't have possibly had sex with that bird. I don't sweat.
Yeah.
Get that drop.
I don't know what I'm not sure why that couldn't have been him in the picture or why he couldn't have been on.
That was it. It was him being like real sweaty in a picture with a young girl. He's like, well, that's obviously not me. I don't sweat. Or
maybe the sex island was in a tropical region and he couldn't be in that kind of situation because of his problem. His body couldn't cool itself or something.
Right.
But he did miss an opportunity when she was kind of questioning him on that. I mean, I talked about it at the time, but the right thing to say is, you don't believe I can't sweat? You've been talking to me about being a pedophile for 45 minutes. I'm wearing a sweater vest underneath this blazer, and you have lights set up. If I were to sweat, this would be the time. My fucking forehead, I'd be full broadcast news in it right now. You understand? We're sitting in my den. My kids are in the next room, and this whole interview is about me having sex with underage girls on an island.
Really mean, no pun intended.
What was, Max Bet, you can look for that, but I can't remember why him not being able to sweat was plausible deniability
Yeah.
in this.
I remember.
In this? Yeah. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, while he looks for that, remember a while ago we talked about how the band The Flaming Lips was getting these bubbles together to start doing concerts, and that was a thing. Well, they did it. And it's actually, I mean, yes, is it gimmicky and could it sustain itself? Who's to say? But it is interesting, and I'll show you some video of it in a second. So they performed 2 shows in Oklahoma this month, and they protected their fans with these giant bubbles that Wayne Coyne, the frontman, says are safer than going to the grocery store. The New York Post reports that each bubble holds up to 3 people, and each show can accommodate 100 bubbles. So it's a decent crowd if that's the kind of crowd you draw. There's even a button that you can push if you have to go to pee, because I think somebody has to help you out of the bubble. The Flaming Lips have been working on this bubbled audience concept for months and used the plastic balls back in October as well. Here's a little footage that somebody took of getting ready for the concert and being in the concert. The line, and they're going into the venue. People are getting into their bubbles. You step into the middle, and the guy in a hazmat suit pretty much inflates you, zips you in. You have an I have to pee button, and then you just rock out your little bubble.
Does anyone rock out to the Flaming Lips?
Oh, come on.
Seems to me, as they're trying to perfect this and buy the equipment and do all that stuff, don't you feel like with the million vaccines a day and 100 million, and isn't the kind of the clock on all this? I mean,
yeah.
Might a lot of this stuff be a beta recorder in May or June or something? Like,
yeah.
I feel like I'm picturing, and I don't know why, it has to do with rock and roll and it has to do with the bubble, but I'm kind of picturing all the plans for all the concerts and all the bubbles is like that scene in Spinal Tap where Harry Shearer was locked in the bubble canopy and is trying to get out the entire song, and then at the very end he just burst out and the band's played the last note. I feel like we're at the end. We're getting to the end here.
And I know this isn't your problem, but the bubble, I love seeing the concept. The bubble freaks me out a little bit. I mean, if you're at all claustrophobic or if somebody has to help you out.
It's kind of the opposite of why you go to a concert, too, I would say.
Feel free.
He said, the prince said he didn't sweat after the Falklands War. When he was shot at, it was like an overdose of adrenaline. So at that point, it was almost impossible for him to sweat. Says it was a medical condition, but I'm not.
But what did that have to?
But why did it have to do with why he couldn't be guilty? Well, maybe she said this big fat sweaty guy rolled off of me, and he went, "That couldn't possibly be me."
Yeah, I think there was like a picture of like a sweaty guy, and he's like, "That can't be me. That guy's sweaty. I'm not."
But aren't we looking at a picture of him? Like, isn't that you in the picture? This is why you always have to go like whatever the politician is. You either got to go Klansman or blackface, so you have plausible deniability. If it's just you with a little glycerin on your forehead, we can figure out who you are.
Yeah, I don't think it was a picture. It was Virginia. She claimed that he was, quote, profusely sweating.
There we go.
It's like Kelly LeBrock got out of the shower. She was all covered in water, but I could still tell she was beautiful, and I wasn't hating her for it.
Don't hate me because I'm perspirating.
That's right.
But yeah, some dermatologists are saying that like usually that condition is not learned or it's genetic, so it's not something that you just develop off of like the war or anything. So it's weird that he was all of a sudden able to start sweating again.
Well, some people learn to love again.
That's true.
All right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
Can I say one thing really fast? I just wanted to give a quick update on the 24-hour Chang challenge for my friend Richard Chang for the charity. I cannot thank you guys enough, and a special shout out to Bryan, who he donated before it was cool way back in the day. Thank you so much. But this was my friend Richard was going to double everybody's donation for Art of Elysium up to $1,000. We hit that the same day. Nice. And at this point, we are We raised almost $5,000 in less than 24 hours. And this is just from most people just giving $23 because it was the 23rd year. So Chang is doubling it. I cannot thank you enough. This is amazing. And by all means, keep going, keep giving. It's all on the top of my Twitter, twitter.com/GinaGrad. Thank you so much.
Gina, that donation was made before my tax bill arrived. So
you're going to need that back.
I need some of that back.
Can you just write it off? I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Oh, last but not least, we got Geico. Do you own? Do you rent? You probably do one of those. You want to save some money with your automotive policy? Well, what do? You bundle, baby. Take your homeowners or your renters insurance. You bundle it with your automotive policy. Where do you go? You go to Geico. Get a quote. See just how much you could be saving because Geico makes it easy when you bundle. So visit geico.com today and get your bundle on over there. That is geico.com. All right, we're going to do a live Q&A on the Stereo app. We'll take a quick break. Be right back with that right after this.
Hey, Adam.
Hey, Chris.
We are on Stereo now. We are live, so if anybody wants to ask questions, please feel free.
Please. What's on your mind?
Well, I was watching you on TMZ. You've become a regular on what I think is your favorite TV show. That must be pretty cool because I was thinking you almost got to do that with Entourage many years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I watch TMZ religiously. I don't know what's up with Harvey Levin, but as soon as I was done, he called me and he's like, I'm in love with you. We should go out to lunch.
What?
Yeah, I'm fast become his favorite over there on TMZ. And I realize it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I always enjoy it because it makes me laugh. So I'm always happy to be on TMZ. And when Harvey calls, I pick up.
I know. If only Love Boat was still going on.
Oh my God!
You could get on Love Boat.
I watched the shit out of Love Boat the other night, and there's a whole episode about child abuse and kid stows away on the ship because he's being abused, and you know how they just. You know how they discover the abuse, Max Bada? They used to discover the abuse by literally engaging in a behavior that would be considered child abuse today, which is he has to sleep. The young stowaway has to go sleep in Captain Steubing's office. It's kind of funny, but every third episode of The Love Boat, there's some jilted lover or some bride that's been left on the altar or some kid that's stowed away. And at some point, Captain Steubing always goes, nonsense, you'll stay with me. I just feel like I've been on a lot of cruise ships. I've never slept with the captain. I don't know if it's a frequent thing. He has a fucking open door policy about people crashing in his cabin. The beautiful ladies, the young kids, the older guys, like whenever anyone runs into trouble, he's like, hey, sleep with me. I feel like there's a boundary there. Maybe between the ship doctor, Adam Bricker, trying to bang every 23-year-old who gets on the ship and Captain Steubing keeping kids and women in his quarters, I just feel like it sends the wrong message. But also, the reason Captain Steubing found out he was an abused child is he was like, you can sleep on the sofa, little Billy. And the kid's like, thanks, Captain. And he starts getting into the bed, and he's wearing a long sleeve shirt and slacks, Uh-oh. And Steubing's like, you got to get undressed to go to bed, which is weird because the kid doesn't have pajamas, right? Like, you just want some nude 9-year-old on your sofa, Captain Stubing?
Yeah.
Like,
You cannot ask kids that.
He's a stowaway. All he has is the clothes on his back. So Stubing's like, go ahead and get undressed and get under the covers. And the kid's like, I'm good. And he climbs under the covers in his shirt and pants. And Stubing's like, you'll not go to bed in your pants and shirt. And the kid's like, I'm good. And then Captain Stubing's like, come over here. And he starts ripping his shirt off. He's literally, it's a 60-year-old guy with a 9-year-old in his cabin, and he's struggling with him to rip his clothes off, which I would argue now gets us into the abuse category. And as he's tearing his shirt off, as he's wrestling with him, and he pulls the shirt off, he sees that his back is all lashed up, like he'd literally been beaten, like tied to a whipping post. And his back is all black and blue. And that's when Stubing realizes he's been abused.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So Stubing is now angry, and he goes looking for the guy, I think it was Dirk Benedict, who was from the A-Team, who the kid said that was his dad, except for not his dad, and he didn't know him. And then Captain Stubing had a head of steam, and he went and found Dirk Benedict, and he was like, how dare you treat your son this way? But he didn't really pause. The whole reason the kid is sleeping in Stubing's cabin is because the kid was knocking on Dirk Benedict's door, right, of his cabin.
Right.
And Dirk Benedict had a hot blonde in there he was plowing, right? So Dirk Benedict, who is not his dad, opens the door and is like, what do you want? It's like, I got to come in here. I want to go to sleep. It's like, you can't come in here. I got a woman in here. And he like slams the door. And then Captain Stubing shows up and he's like, what's going on, Billy? How come you're not in your cabin? And he's like, my dad's got a lady friend in there. And he's like, okay, you'll sleep with me. I feel like Captain Stubing would have knocked on the door and said, hey, man, your kid's out in the hall. It's 2 a.m. Like, you gotta let him sleep in your cabin. He's not sleeping in my cabin because you're trying to plow a 26-year-old blonde on my ship, right? Don't you think Captain Stubing would have knocked on that passenger's door if and he thought that was his biological son that was just going to spend the night in the hallway?
You'd think that'd be the move.
That would be the move. I would say most responsible sea captains. Now, I'm not talking about old-timey sea captains. You know, I'm not talking about salty guy with the beard and the parrot. That guy would be delighted that one of his shipmates was getting laid, right? But that's old-timey captain. Real 80s captain, that guy would have opened the door or at least knocked and said, hey, we got to have
here.
Yeah, we can't have your 9-year-old sleeping in the pirate-themed bar overnight or hanging out in the casino. He's got to go into his cabin and go to bed. But Stubing did not knock on the door. Stubing instead took the kid to his cabin and then proceeded to strip search him. Later, he had a head of steam, the captain did, when he ran into Dirk Benedict on the Lido deck, because not only was this guy being irresponsible by locking his kid out of his cabin to get laid, but he obviously was beating him as well in Captain Stubing's mind. Understood?
Yeah. Captain Stubing, he's a better man than I, because I remember at one of the Corolla cruises, I was walking back to my room through the hall, and there were three guys sitting on the floor outside of their room. Mm-hmm. And I kind of gave them a weird look, and they kind of just nodded and went, one of our guys is in there with a girl. So they were just waiting for him outside in the hall, just sitting on the floor. I didn't invite them to hang out in my room.
No.
I just walked by.
And I don't even know what the captain's name was of the ship we were on, but I'm feeling he did not invite any of those unlucky gents into his cabin, knowing full well there'd be a spirited beat-off session, right? I mean,
true, yeah.
Those guys are drunk. Their fucking buddies getting laid. They had a shot at the chick 2 hours earlier in the casino. They're not just rolling over and going to bed. Oh, no.
Yeah, they're pent up.
They're pent up. Yeah, they're like a pressure cooker. They're going to have to blow off a little steam, whatever cabin they end up in, or perhaps even the hallway if it gets late enough. They're going to have to blow off a little steam. So Steubing strip searches the kid. Then he confronts Dirk Benedict. Benedict is confused, of course, because he doesn't know what Steubing's talking about. They then figure out that it's not his son and that he's a runaway, and he takes off, and then he goes to be examined by the ship's doctor, Adam Bricker, but he runs away and hides on the ship. But the good news is Dirk Benedict, on a 3-day cruise to Ensenada, has decided during those 3 days that not only would he meet a woman on the ship and soon marry her, but he would also then adopt the runaway kid he met on the ship as well. So it had a happy ending. Now,
yeah, very ambitious cruise goers.
Yeah. Now, my feeling is, like, a lot of people say, what era would you like to live in, or who would you like? Some people are like, I would like to go to a Yankees game and see Babe Ruth swing a bat, or I would like to, shake the hand of Martin Luther King or something. But for me, I would like to be in the writer's room of the Love Boat. If I had it to do all over again, I would want to be transported in time to the writer's room at the Love Boat, because they had to pitch all these ideas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had to be like, what if this confirmed bachelor was on the ship with his super hottie girlfriend, Barbie Benton? Yeah, we're listening, Stan. And let's say she wanted to get married in Acapulco, but he didn't. So he said, I have a deadly disease and I'm going to die in 6 months, so I can't marry you. Yeah. This is good. We're writing. What? Yeah. Then what?
Yeah.
Is he old? Is he in ill health? No. Young, spry guy. Good looking. Yeah.
Great. And it's Barbie Benton, right?
Right. So then what if Barbie Benton caught on to the ruse, didn't say anything, took him down to the ship's doctor, Adam Bricker. Adam Bricker examined him as in on the joke with Barbie Benton to scare this guy, and actually discovered that he had Lou Gehrig's disease and was going to die in 6 months. Oh, this is good stuff. Oh, this is good stuff. But wait a minute. That seems like a sad ending. This 32-year-old guy's going to die of a horrible disease in 6 months? No. Because in Act 3, when they're getting off the ship and Dr. Bricker sees them and gives them a kind of a sober look, like, hey, that's the guy with Lou Gehrig's disease, you make a joke, the guy makes a joke, and then Bricker announces laughter's the best medicine, and then everyone laughs before they get off the ship.
Oh, I love it.
Love it, right?
Yeah, well, freeze frame on everybody laughing.
Right, freeze frame. Yeah, like they do on Chips. I mean, that piece of shit show. Yeah. Who the hell watched that pile of crap? But yeah, we do the freeze frame.
Gary's in that show. Yeah, we got to do the freeze frame.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great episode. That should be our season finale.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. The B story that'll be about the ship's doctor buying. That'll be about the ship's captain buying his daughter Vicky a parrot, and he leaves him with Gopher, and then Gopher wants to teach him how to talk, and the parrot won't talk. The parrot won't say hello. The parrot won't say "give me 5" or "what's happening." And at a certain point, Gopher will get so exacerbated, he'll go, "That Captain Steubing's a jerk." And then the parrot will say, "Captain Steubing's a jerk." And then Gopher will be like, no, Captain Steubing's a jerk. Captain Steubing's, and then Gopher's going to be like, no, I can't give the bird back to Captain Steubing for her child's birthday. If he's going to say Captain Steubing's a jerk, he'll know it came from me. But good news. They bring the bird to Vicky, the daughter, Captain Steubing's daughter, It's Christmas in Captain Steubing's office, and before the bird can utter the phrase, Captain Steubing's a jerk, Vicky decides, because she's a normal 12-and-a-half-year-old, that the little runaway boy would get much more pleasure from the parrot than her, and gives it to her. So we avoid the whole Captain Steubing's a jerk in Captain Steubing's office. Yeah.
You know, I was thinking of what moment in time do I want to go back and check out, but I am getting in the passenger seat of your DeLorean. You've convinced me. I got to get in that Love Boat writer's room.
Oh, my God. This is just... I don't know how much cocaine those people were doing in 1981, but I got to imagine it was a lot, because these storylines are goddamn epic. All right. Do we have a question?
We do. Here we go.
My last name is actually Corolla as well, so that's quite cool.
All right. You're not the only one.
Did she say Corolla or did she say Carolla?
I think she said Corolla, but with an accent, because your name's written on the stereo app, so they would know.
I wonder if she spells it the same. Famously, my dad's brother Ralph always went by Carolla and not Corolla, and then right up there in the pantheon of my dad not knowing why I didn't have a middle name, even though he was in charge of giving out middle names because he's my dad. When I said to him, you and your brother, you had a different last name, Corolla, what's up with that? He goes, I don't know. I thought, he doesn't sweat the family details, my dad.
Yeah.
He's not what you call hands-on.
Yeah.
We got another one?
That's very odd. Yeah.
Hey, Adam, Zai, hoi.
Siki Saki, whenever the cheer we do at the end of the Man Show. Right. I got that thing wrong for like all 4 seasons we're on. Like I never saw it written. I think I would say Siggy Saki or something, but it was Ziggy. You got to figure out how that's spelled. How is that? How is it done?
I always thought of it as Ziggy Zoggy, like with Z's at the beginning.
I think I would say Ziggy Saki. I think that would be me screwing that up. Yeah.
Right.
We had to
put the whole crowd going.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. We would request what kind of beer we would want. And I think at the time I would go with Sam Adams because it was nummy, looked good on camera. But what started happening, and I'm embarrassed to admit this, but we would chug that beer and then we'd turn it around and we'd do another episode like a half hour later. And chugging the beer got me buzzed. It was like 3 p.m. or 5 or whatever it is. It got that daytime beer buzz. And then we just turn around and do the next show. And we started every show with the thing I was worse at, which is reading the cue cards for the monologue at the top. So I started putting like an O'Doul's in there for the first show because I was coming out and having trouble with the monologue. Not trouble, but I needed all my faculties to read cue cards. Cue cards was a big, tough, tall order for me at the time. So I went for the O'Doul's on the first show, but the second show I would always go with the Sam Adams. And then when the show was over, the second show was over, we'd always end up in me and Jimmy and Daniel's office in the building next to the stage, and all the writers and everyone just be sitting in there, and we just pound beers. It was awesome.
Those beers after work, I mean, obviously I can't relate to work on the Man Show, but those are the best tasting beers.
That is the best beer, the after work beer. All right, what else?
Yeah.
Adam, in their prime, who was hotter, Farrah Fawcett or Pamela Anderson? Get it on.
Not really a Farrah Fawcett or Pam Anderson fan. Farrah Fawcett was super pretty, but a little bony. You know what I mean? Like, just not much, kind of a B cup, not a lot of curves, Pam Anderson, never my boogie, never my, what do you kids call that? Your groove. Never,
Sure.
never, what do they call that? Never my wiggle, whatever it was.
Yeah, I like wiggle or boogie. Let's just keep it at that.
Yeah. I'm also, me and we had some dust ups because of Loveline and her being late and Donnie and Marie and her being late and all that kind of stuff. I'll go with the reference from earlier in the show today. I'm going to go with prime Kelly LeBrock.
Yeah, don't hate her because she's beautiful.
That's right.
All right, here's another question.
Ace, Eric from Minnesota, mandate, get it on. So we recently lost Tanya Roberts. What do you think, as a tribute to her, of a basic cable commentary of the Beastmaster, featuring you, Dawson, and Huell Hauser from Heaven? Imagine Huell's reaction to that film. Thanks, Ace Man.
Yeah, who could forget the lovable ferrets, Kodo and Podo? Yeah.
Yeah.
Beastmaster, very homoerotic, super homoerotic. You have to go back and watch that. It's kind of like watching heavy metal 80s videos and you realize, oh, those were super gay. Beastmaster, super gay. I mean, those guys, the guards at the castle, those guys were wearing a leather banana hammock, a codpiece, gloves up to their elbows, and boots that were knee-high with gimp masks on, chasing Beastmaster around that castle. Like, if they ever caught up to Beastmaster, him being killed with a sword would have been the least of his problems. I feel like there would have been some adult rape going on there. That's just maybe that's just me. But I feel like they would have done to him what Captain Steubing did to that 9-year-old stowaway in his quarters, So yeah, but we should do that, because Tanya Roberts, when I was done watching The Love Boat, I started watching Charlie's Angels, and Tanya Roberts was a bit of all right, man. I mean, back in the day, I was watching some later Charlie's Angels episodes, and by the way, the Angels went to Hawaii, and they abducted Chris, which is never a good episode, but she was on, but it was good. Well, actually, it's good when Cheryl Ladd would get abducted, because Cheryl Ladd had big tits, and when she would get abducted, at some point she'd make a break for it, and they'd have a great shot where she was just sprinting toward the camera, And that's a good, like when you're 13 and you're babysitting, that's all you need. Cheryl Ladd just chugging it at the camera, just running a long, slow shot right at the camera. They never really explain why she was abducted or what the people wanted. You know what they used to do a lot of back in the day? There was always the evil dad. He was the abducting guy. And then there was his evil daughter. But there was this kind of attractive simpleton son who took a shining to Cheryl Ladd. And they always had that. So it'd be that thing where it's like she'd be sitting there and she'd go, I'm pretty thirsty. I haven't had a sip of water in 10 hours. And he'd go, I guess I could get you some water. And then at some point he'd be handing her the water, and then the mean dad would come and go, what are you doing? Get away from her. And then at some point when she made a break for it and they needed the simpleton son to like help run her down, he would pull up lame. You know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't do it. He started to like her. Yeah. That was
yeah, of course.
That's how it would work.
You're rooting for him.
Yeah.
You're rooting for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because, he is us.
Yeah, he's us. That's exactly right. All right, should we do another?
Yeah.
Ace Man, Bill, 40, Kansas. I'd like you to know that I taught 2 out of my 3 children to drive with a stick shift. One of them still does. You can still buy little cars in Kansas with manual transmissions. My question is, how much are you still in contact with Ray and Donnie and some of the others from the past? Get it on.
Wow. Thank you for teaching a kid to drive a stick. I kind of got my son to drive a stick. I don't know if he still remembers. It's been a month. I'm going to get my daughter and teach her too. Ray, I haven't talked to in a little while, but we had a text go back and forth a few months back, so I think I'll see him in the new year. And Donnie, I do not talk to because we had this ugly lawsuit, and that'll end the conversation.
Yeah. All right. Here's another question.
Hey, Ace Man, in all the talk about leaving California and L.A., I never hear people talk about Las Vegas. It's only 4 hours away. The weather's fantastic. In your case, warehouse space grows like weeds out here. There's no state income tax. Why not Las Vegas?
Yeah, why not Las Vegas? I think people, because Las Vegas, when you're from LA, Las Vegas is where you go to spend some money, attempt to poison yourself with alcohol, bang a prostitute, sit at some poker table till 4 a.m. It's kind of, so in your mind, when you're from Los Angeles, Vegas is like a fun party destination, but no one lives in the fun party destination. And I know there's plenty of houses and stuff outside of town and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, it feels kind of like somebody going, you love Knott's Berry Farm, right? Yeah. Why don't you live there? Yeah. Like, well, I don't know. It's nice. But they got the log jammer.
Log ride, funnel cake.
Yeah. But live there? Yeah. Why not? It's a great place. Like, that's kind of what living in Vegas sounds like to people who live in Los Angeles. But you're right. I know the great Pete Brock of BRE has a beautiful home there. Chris has been there, right?
Yeah, been there. Brian Regan's out there. It's all Henderson, though. Mike Tyson.
Yeah, it's all Henderson. Yeah, you live outside of Vegas in Henderson, right? All right, what else we got?
Yeah, does seem nice. All right.
Hey, Adam, just want to say I love you and really appreciate Chris. I appreciate all the shows you guys put together. And I think it's safe to say I've heard your voice, Adam, more than any other human voice in my life, and I'm good with that.
Well, thanks. And by the way, you're hearing it now live on stereo. I was actually talking to Harvey Levin, as we alluded to earlier, sort of off the air before we went live on TMZ, and he was asking me about podcasting, and he wanted to know if I liked it. And I said, yeah, because all I want to do is talk. I don't want to read stuff. I don't want to put makeup on. I don't want to do hair. I don't want to do wardrobe. I just want to talk. So, if you just want to talk, then radio, especially in a certain format where you're not spinning a bunch of records or heavily formatted, or you're doing a podcast, well, then that's your boogie. That's your groove. God damn it. Come on, Max Zapata. That's your
jam.
Your jam. That's it. That's my jam. All right. We got another?
Yeah. I was thinking about how many hours you've collectively talked into a microphone. I mean, it's probably 5 times as much as a human speaks in his or her lifetime.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, because most people don't talk all day. I mean, they might go to work, but they might be driving a forklift or something. Yeah, glad to do it. And we're coming up on 3,000 shows, are we not? We got to have that.
Yeah, we are.
That date's coming soon enough. Giovanni sent me some sort of email about us being at like 2,980 87 or something. I'm pretty good with numbers. I sort of half read the email, but it strikes me that the 3,000th show has to be in the next 8 shows or something. At least, I think, according to that email.
The next few weeks. And your 12-year anniversary for the Adam Carolla show, also as a podcast.
Is that
coming up
February
next month too.
February 9th, I think, maybe. I gotta
February 22nd, 23rd. I gotta look at the calendar again.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah, we'll party.
I wonder where I got 9. Was it 09? Maybe it was 09. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was 09.
All right. Yeah. Well, you're listening to us on stereo, and we'll take another question.
Adam, are you going to do another movie? And if you do, will you play a boxer? Thank you.
Not planning on it, but probably not. But you never know. I don't really plan these things out too much. You know, we just kind of go from project to project. We got a bunch of documentaries right now we're working on. I am trying to work on a documentary about a boxer. Amongst a million other projects we're doing. So I never say no. I never say never. And I really don't think about it that much. I just sort of show up and keep moving. So we're finishing up the Mad TV doc. What's it called? When the World Went Mad? Trying to think of what the name of that one is.
Yeah.
Sorry,
When we went mad.
Mad Magazine, I should say. We're doing the Mad Magazine doc. We're doing the Meme Gods doc. We got a bunch of other ones we're working on, getting going on a Dan Gurney doc. So there's plenty of stuff we're working on. And the crowdfunding is going real well for those docs, by the way. I don't know if it's still up and running or whatever, but you guys can look into that if you want to be involved, because it's a new kind of thing where you can kind of be a producer on it versus, getting a T-shirt or a coffee mug. All right, what else we got, Max Pata?
Yeah, you're investing.
You're investing.
Well, before we get to the next question, are there any plans of you doing another feature or acting again in a movie? Because they're all documentaries right now, but I mean, like you did The Hammer, you did Road Hard. I'm sure everyone would want to see another movie. Well,
I'm not so sure that anyone wants to see another movie, but no, it never comes up. It's not. I'm not asked to be in other people's movies. No one really asked me to make a movie. It's not really my jam, but I still feel like I got another movie in me somewhere, and I'll do something of some sort with some genre at some point, but it's tough. You got to raise a bunch of money. You got to carve out a bunch of time. I have a really busy schedule. It's really hard to carve out the time for the movie schedule because it's a really hectic 20 days or whatever the hell it is, whatever the shoot is. Could be 18 days, could be 21 days or whatever. But it's like during those days, it's hard to do anything else when you're doing that. And it doesn't seem to be much of an appetite for it. No one ever says anything except for you, fine stereo app participant. So thank you for asking. But no, it's not, if someone would, if somebody said, hey, you want to be in my movie, I'd for sure, I'm sure say yes. But no plans, but there's never any plans. So I think something shall be done sometime sooner than later. We just have to get it. For me, it's like I'll just be sitting around and I'll have a thought like, this would be a funny idea for a movie. And then I'll just start bouncing it off people and then the process will start. But until the thought kind of rolls through my head, I don't really do anything.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Here's another question.
Who knew that the Love Boat had such intense material?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
They have child abuse. They have guys dying of Lou Gehrig disease. Max Zapata. I didn't tell you that there was a a kind of sobering, almost sanguine, I guess, sad ending to one of the B stories or C stories on Love Boat the other week. Dig this. This super hot chick comes onto the boat, right? Super young, smoking hot model, right? And all she wants is a little rest and relaxation, right? But she's constantly being bothered by guys because she's so beautiful. You know, she's getting hit on all the time. And there's this good-looking dude who's nice, and he's with his swinging Czechoslovakian kind of friend who's like, hey, set him up, I'll knock him down, you know, watch the master at work. Of course, the guy's fat and a Dumbo and stupid, and so he's hitting on her, and she takes a shining to the friend, right? So she comes onto the ship. Be prepared for a big ending here, people. She comes onto the ship for a little rest and relaxation, right? She puts a wedding ring on so she won't be bothered, right? So she doesn't want all these guys hitting on her, so she puts the wedding ring on. She ends up finding love with the nice friend, with the quiet friend of the lounge lizard guy, and they end up having a beautiful, budding, blooming relationship. But he's always a little put off by the fact she has the wedding ring on, right? After a night, after a long courtship at sea, and a night of sweet, sweet cabin lovemaking, the next morning, she says, you know this wedding ring? I'm not married. I'm taking it off. And the guy goes,
wow.
The guy goes, well, it would never work. And she goes, what do you mean? I told you I'm not married. I just put this ring on to keep guys away. And he says, I am married. And that was the end.
Wow.
Wow. You never see that on the Love Boat.
I didn't know M. Night Shyamalan wrote Love Boat episodes.
You did not know from the mind of a 11-year-old M. Night Shyamalan comes this. I mean, I was fucking floored. I was watching that. Thank God I had a glass of scotch in my hand because I needed something to take the edge off, man. I was like, what? Whoa.
Oh, thank God the scotch wasn't in your mouth. That's an spit take.
That is a major spit take right there. Like, yeah, he was married. The nice guy. He had taken his ring off to get on the boat. Powerful, right?
Mind blown. That would actually be a storyline if Love Boat was going on today.
Right.
Would work.
You're listening live on stereo, by the way. We got another one.
Sure.
Hey, Adam. Love you guys. Love the show. So recently, I got caught up in a Twitter kind of kerfuffle defending you. Just saying, why is everyone so mad at Adam all the time on Twitter? And I even said, I'm a big liberal. I sometimes disagree with Adam's takes, but I love you, man, and I love your comedy. I love what you do. And I find it so interesting. So many people are so spun up about having to have people on teams or sides, or everyone has to think exactly the same way. I think I was responding to your kind of list of someone calling you out for who knows what kind of crap. But it's sort of mind blowing. And I've been listening to you for years on years. And to your point, you're very consistent. You don't really stray from what you believe or what you've said before. I think my liberal brethren candidly have, and I'm just interested in kind of this, and I was going to call into the Dr. Drew show as well, kind of seeing the flack he's getting, and just interested.
Well, we get the gist.
Yeah.
Well, this is a new world order. Twitter brings it out and everybody. That's the new way people communicate. It's kind of a chicken or the egg thing, which is I haven't really modified my thought process or many of my views since I've been speaking into a microphone. But I do feel like the definition of many subjects have changed over the years. So you take something like white supremacy. Well, what did white supremacy mean 50 years ago? Or what did white supremacy mean when I spoke into a microphone in 1995? What was the definition of white supremacy? It sure as fuck wasn't what it is now. So if you say, I'm colorblind, I believe all people are equal. Well, now that's a white supremacist statement. Or if you don't put the black box on your Twitter, whatever the fuck, after Black Lives Matter tries to blackmail you into doing it, well, then now you're a white supremacist. Now, obviously, you're not. And obviously, it has changed the definition. So what's happened is I have stayed the same, and the definition of many of these things have changed around me. So you could say, well, then why don't you change as the definition changes? And my feeling is because I don't fucking want to, and it's because I'm not a fucking retard, coward, pussy sheep. That's why. The people only change because they're fucking scared. That's why. They don't agree with you. They're scared. You think 92% of Americans are down with Black Lives Matter? They're not. They're scared. They're scared of being called a white supremacist or a racist or homophobic or xenophobic or whatever. So they're scared and they're fucking cowards. And they then go along because they're fucking herd animals, and they're scared because you assholes are trying to get them removed from their livelihood. And most people want to work, and they have a healthy fear of not being able to provide for their family. So they immediately cave. And by the way, this works for businesses and industry and the NBA. What the fuck's the NBA doing with China? Some guy comes out and says, I stand with Tibet, or I stand with Hong Kong or something, and you fucking hypocrite coward pussies have to turn on the team manager, the team owner, the general manager of the, I don't know, what was it? What team was it? God damn it. It was Texas. But I can't remember. It was San Antonio Spurs maybe, or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
China is a fucking horrible regime that oppresses people all over the fucking place and steals our technology and is a horrible, who was it? The Rockets. Has a horrible record. Has a horrible human rights record. But LeBron James and the rest of the fucking NBA got a cave because they want the fucking money. My thing is fine. Chase the money. Get paid. Let China make you rich. But spare me your fucking civics lesson, hypocrites. So we have a situation where there's 6% of assholes who are scaring the fuck out of the other 94% of society because they just want to keep their jobs. And they've seen what you people who never stop bloviating about McCarthyism, they see what you assholes have done, removing them from their livelihoods. So they're fucking scared. And they're going along with your shit, not because they agree with you, because they're fucking cowards and they're spineless. And I would argue rightfully so. I mean, most people don't have FU money, and especially not F me money. But I'm not going along with that because A, I'm not a pussy, and B, I didn't get into fucking comedy to listen what pussy retards wanted me to say and then go along with them. That's not why I got into this, you assholes. Maybe if I remained a carpenter, I would have thought that was a good idea. But I wanted to speak into a microphone, and I wanted to share my ideas. Some of them are popular, many are unpopular. And then you fucking pussies are constantly going, well, maybe if we can shame him enough. I don't know. Does it work? Has it worked? You want to keep going? Keep going. I don't give a fuck. I would fucking kill myself before I followed one of your fucking retard edicts about what I needed to say in your ever-evolving and ever-revolving definition of what this is or what that is. This was racism 10 minutes ago. Now we have a new definition of what racism is, and you're all gonna fit under that tent. Fuck you. And by the way, you can't convince me I'm a racist, and you can't convince me I'm homophobic, and you can't convince me I'm xenophobic, because I'm not. So keep fucking squawking, pussies. But why don't you do me a favor and put a fucking musket in your mouth and blow your fucking head off? We don't need you around here. Or get the fuck on with it. What do you want to do? You want to build a treehouse with your son? You want to fucking make a doc? You want to write a book? You want to go on a cruise? What do you want to do? How about you fucking do it? And stop worrying about the people like me who, by the way, aren't part of the problem. You really worried about human rights? Go to some other fucking country and help all the oppressed people. How about it? How about you go somewhere and fucking put your money where your fucking mouth is? How about you go help someone who's really oppressed? You're worried about women's rights? Good. Leave this country and go to a fucking place that oppresses women. Go to the Middle East. Have fun getting your head cut off, but go to the Middle East and start bloviating over there, hero. Or would you rather just hang out here where it's safe and pass judgment on everyone? Fuck you. And by the way, fuck all the pussies that are listening to you. Jesus Christ. This whole thing could be over in 10 minutes if all the fucking cowards would just step up and tell these assholes to shut the fuck up. You don't have dominion over me. I'm fucking smarter and richer than all of you. So blow me. Other than that, I have no opinions about it. And we're live on stereo. All right, let's bring this home, Max Pat. I'm sweating now.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Well said.
All right, I'm going to be in Oklahoma City, Bricktown Comedy Club, February 26th, 27th, doing what you just heard. It's going to be 90 minutes of me up on stage calling everyone pussies and retards. So we'll do a live podcast there, and we'll do stand-up as well. Some of the other dates might be shifting around because of the COVID, so you just go to adamcarolla.com and find out where and when, and we'll get back to you on that. And until next time, Adam Carolla. For Chris Max Pata, Ball Bryan, Gina Grad saying, mahalo.